My mom burst out laughing when I said I couldn't afford college. Don't expect help. You're on your own, she said. 10 years later, she walked into my office, broke, desperate, and begging for a job. Then her face went pale when she realized the man sitting across from her owned the entire building. I still remember the sound of her laughter, not because it was funny, because it hurt. I was 18 years old, sitting at our kitchen table with an acceptance letter from my dream university. My hands were shaking with excitement. Nobody in our family had ever gone to college. I thought my mom would finally be proud of me. Instead, she barely looked up from her coffee. How much is tuition? She asked. I told her, and she laughed. Not a smile, not a chuckle. She actually laughed. You seriously think you're college material? She said. We can barely pay our bills. Stop acting like you're special. I swallowed hard and asked if she'd at least co-sign a student loan. That's when she looked me right in the eyes. Don't expect help. You're on your own. Those words hit harder than anything. 2 weeks later, I packed 2 bags and left. I rented half a room from an elderly couple. During the day, I went to community college. At night, I stocked shelves, delivered pizzas, and cleaned office buildings before sunrise. Most days, I survived on instant noodles and gas station coffee. Meanwhile, my friends were posting pictures from football games and beach vacations. I was too busy trying to survive. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, nights I wanted to quit, nights I wondered if my mom had been right. But every time I thought about giving up, I remembered her words. You're on your own. And eventually, I stopped waiting for anyone to save me. I taught myself coding from free videos, started building websites, made $50, then 100, then 500. I failed more times than I could count. Clients disappeared, projects crashed, people scammed me, friends stopped believing in me, but I kept going. Years later, a startup hired me for a major project. That project led to another and another. At 26, I hired my first employee. At 28, I launched my own software company. By 30, we had over 200 employees. And by 32, I bought the entire office building. Nobody in my family knew. Honestly, I liked it that way. Not once in 14 years had my mother called to ask how I was doing. No birthdays, no Christmas cards, nothing. Then one rainy Tuesday morning, my assistant knocked on my office door. There's a woman here asking about job openings, she said. I nodded. Send her in. The woman walked into the conference room, and I nearly dropped my coffee. It was my mother. She looked older, tired, broken, but I'd recognize her anywhere. She didn't recognize me right away. She handed me her resume and smiled nervously. I heard this company pays well, she said. I've been out of work for months. Then she looked up and froze. She blinked 3 times. Wait, her eyes widened. Oh my God, it's you. I smiled politely. Hi, Mom. Tears filled her eyes. You work here? I shook my head. No. Confused, she frowned. What do you mean? I don't work here. I paused. I own it. Her mouth fell open. No, I nodded. The company, the building, everything. She started crying. I'm so proud of you. I always knew you'd do great things. Family should always support each other. Support. That word almost made me laugh. I quietly opened my desk drawer and pulled out an old envelope. She recognized it instantly. Inside was the note she'd left me when I moved out. The paper was yellow now, worn with age. I handed it to her. She read the last line. Don't expect help. You're on your own. Her hands started shaking. She covered her mouth. Sweetheart, I didn't mean it like that. I raised my hand. No, Mom. You meant every word. Silence filled the room. Then she whispered softly, I'm sorry. And for the first time in my life, I believed she meant it. I could have screamed. I could have reminded her about every birthday she forgot, every bill I struggled to pay. Every night I cried, wondering why my own mother didn't believe in me. But I didn't, because somewhere along the journey, I stopped being angry. Success had healed wounds I thought would never heal. So I smiled, and I thanked her. She looked confused. For what? For teaching me that nobody was coming to save me. For teaching me how to stand on my own. For forcing me to become stronger. She cried even harder. Then she quietly asked, do you think I still deserve a chance? I looked at her resume. Then I looked back at her. And after 14 years apart, I said something neither of us expected.